my name is Hydo and welcome to the Pantheon, where today we're in Dungeons and Dragons yet again. It never ends. Well, actually, it does, because this is the last of the cards from Dungeons and Dragons, and we're finishing on a mythic. And, you know, it's something that you get, you know, if you've eaten too much cake, you know, you don't really want the sponge anymore. You're only after the icing. You've committed Icingdeath. You're dying because, you know, it's overplayed, that joke. I'm sorry about that. But Icingdeath is a 4-mana legendary creature dragon in white. White dragons. Ooh. Blue eyes, white dragons. 4/3 for a flying vigilance. And when it dies, create Icingdeath Frost Tongue. A legendary white equipment token with equipped creature gets +2/+0. And whenever equipped creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. And equip 2. So it can wear its own tongue. What a horrifying thought that is. Truly, truly horrendous. But, you know, it's quite a cool card. You know, if you're going for a nice aggressive deck, you can put this in, you know. Then you can wear itself to get bigger, swing in for lots of damage. But there's a cool couple of little synergies that we can do with artifacts, and that's the sort of direction I wanted to take this deck. So, before we go anywhere, why don't you subscribe to my channel? Going to make one of these for every single legendary creature ever printed, eventually. But dear God, they're printing so many of them, it's going to be a while before I get there. But without further ado, let's have a look at the top 5 for Icingdeath. And in at number 5, well, we've got cooking and culinary related cards. Witch's Oven, but these actually do play a key role in the deck. Witch's Oven, you know, because you bake a cake in an oven. 1 mana for an artifact, tap, sacrifice a creature, create a food token. If the sacrificed creature's toughness was 4 or greater, create 2 food tokens. So sadly, our commander is, you know, a 4/3, sadly not a 4/4. So we're not going to get those 2 food tokens of sacrificing it, but we will get, you know, the equipment, the tongue that it can wear itself. And, you know, having food coming in is not that bad. Gaining some life, pretty good. Then we've got late to dinner. You get it. Food. Yum, 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 yum. 4 mana for a sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Create a food token. So this is good, you know, if you're sacrificing our commander. Maybe we don't put him into the command zone. We put him into the graveyard and reanimate him, bring him back with that. Then if we're making food, well, Academy Manufacturer is fantastic. 3 mana for a 1/3 assembly worker if you would create a clue, food, or treasure token. Instead, create 1 of each. So all of these, frankly, pretty terrible cards are going to be making us, you know, card draw and ramp at the same time when we're making our food. Really, really good, and it's a benefit. You know, eating is part of life. It's essential. Then we've got the Underworld Cookbook, 1 mana for an artifact. Discard a card, create a food token. So, you know, just food-related gubbins. Then pay 4, tap, sacrifice it. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Really, really nice. And we might be able to recur that in a couple of different ways. So we're going to be able to return creatures back, you know, reuse them, maybe reuse our commander if we put it into the graveyard. Absolutely wonderful. Which brings me on to my number 4 pick. And we're getting some more sort of serious cards here. So Oswald Fiddlebender is a 2 mana 2/2 gnome artificer with magical tinkering. 1 white and tap it, sacrifice an artifact. Search your library for an artifact card with mana value plus equal to 1+ sacrifice artifact's mana value. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery. So the cool thing about this is, sadly, the tongue that our commander creates is legendary. And it has 0 CMC. So if we sacrifice it with, you know, the Fiddlebender here, we can go and get a 1-drop with, you know, one of our cookbooks, the Witch's Oven, something like that, something that plays very well with the deck. And because we've got rid of the tongue, we can then create another one when our commander dies. It's so unfortunate that it is legendary. Like, I wish it wasn't. You know, we could stack tongues on top of each other. Horrible thought. But if we're fiddlebendering from our commander, well, first thing, we can go and get a Soul Ring. We get a 1-drop, absolutely fantastic, ridiculous value. Going to be ramping for days. We're paying 1 white and sacrificing part of our commander's tongue to go and get a Soul Ring. Then we could sacrifice a Soul Ring for something like a Dancing Sword, because our commander is, you know, quite an aggressive card, flying, vigilance, getting in there for damage. Dancing Sword, 2 mana for an equipment. A quick creature gets +2/+1. Whenever it dies, a quick creature dies, you may have Dancing Sword become a 2/1 construct artifact creature token with flying and ward 1. If you do, it isn't an equipment. So, you know, if we're going to be sacrificing our commander, we can then have a flyer that we could equip with sort of the tongue. So we could have a sword wielding a tongue. Sounds like some nightmarish hell to me, but we could do it. Then we got our Chaomancer's Map, 3 mana. We could get into this, maybe sacrifice the sword. Artifact, when it enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 basic playing cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle. So a nice bit of card advantage, although they are basic planes. Then, whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player controls more lands than you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So, White's version of burgeoning. Really, really cool. Works fantastically, and it's going to accelerate you and get you ahead in the game, or maybe catch up, which is, you know, a lot of what White needs. Then, one of my favourite cards recently, Salvaging Station, 6 mana for an artifact. Tap to return target non-creature artifact card with converted mana cost 1 or less from your graveyard to play. So I've talked about a lot of 1 CMC artifacts, and you know, with the chain of the fiddle bendering, we're going to be keeping going and going. We want those 1 CMC artifacts to go. And then whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, you may untap Salvaging Station. So with all of the sacrificing that's going on, we can end up bringing back a bunch of artifacts. And one of the best ones to bring back is Mishra's Bauble. 0 mana for an artifact, tap, sacrifice it, look at the top card of target player's library, draw a card at the beginning of next turn's upkeep. So we're going to draw a card in the next turn, but with Salvaging Station or something like Auriok Salvagers, we can keep sacking, keep bringing it back, keep casting it, and draw tons and tons of cards. It's a great way of creating card advantage in White. Who would have ever thought that'd be a thing? But those are really, really cool, which brings me on to number 3. And at number 3, well, if we're going to have a bunch of these artifacts lying around, you know, an artifact tongue, you know, just knocking about, chilling on the floor, just squirming. Why don't we have Dig Site Engineer? 3 mana for a 3/3 Dwarf Artificer. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 0/0 colorless artifact construct token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. And that's the real sort of meat of this theme. You know, if we're going to have a bunch of artifacts, yes, our commander, we can get in with commander damage, but let's have some massive creatures thanks to things like this. And then there's Urza's Saga. It's a saga, so it goes progressively down. Each turn you get a counter onto it, and it's a land. So initially it gains tap to add a colorless. Then it gains pay 2, tap, creates a construct token we just talked about, so it gets bigger with all the artifacts. And then finally search your library for an artifact card with mana value 0 or 1. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So, mana value is different, so it has to specifically cost 0 or 1, you know, in the text box. It can't be a 1 mana colored artifact. But this is really cool because we can generate a ton of value and then tutor up one of our big threats. Well, I'll say big threats, one of our, you know, 1 mana artifacts. Then Bronze Guardian is wonderful if we have loads of artifacts. 5 mana for a star 5 with double strike and ward 2. Other artifacts you control have ward 2, so a nice bit of protection for everything, including our tongue. And whenever its power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. Really, really nice. And double strike, it doubles. What? Who would have thought it? It's double the power. Then the Ingenious Smith. 2 mana for a 1/1 when it enters the battlefield. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them, put it into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on it. This ability triggers only once each turn, so that's a bit depressing. But we can end up growing this to be quite massive. And also, it sort of draws you a card and sort of like impulses for an artifact. And we're going to be putting a ton of artifacts in this deck. Then there's Khan, Scion of Urza. Buckle down, there's a lot of text here. 4 mana for a legendary Planeswalker Khan. Comes in with 5 loyalty and +1, reveal the top 2 cards of your library. Opponent chooses 1, and then the other goes into exile with a silver counter on it. -1, put a card you own with a silver counter on it from exile into your hand. So nice bit of card advantage there in White, although it is colourless, so I can't really give White the credit. Then -2 creates a 0/0 construct token that gets bigger with artifacts. Perfect for the deck. Then we have the Doomed Artisan. Me toiling away, creating things that people don't appreciate. 3 mana for a 1/1. Human Artificer, sculptures you control can't attack or block. What a disaster. At the beginning of your end step, create a color sculpture artifact token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of sculptures you control. So the idea is you sit there, you know, building up your sculpture army, getting massive, 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 till you have like 5/5/5s. Then you sacrifice this guy, and then you swing him for 25. Really, really cool. And, you know, he's got nice hair. Then we've got a Blade Splicer. 3 mana for a 1/1. It enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colors golem artifact token. And golems you control are first rank. So this isn't exactly, you know, the construct idea, but it's, you know, making a golem token. So maybe you want to do it, maybe you don't. It's up to you, it's your deck. This brings me on to number 2, and at number 2, well, we've got a lot of artifacts, and our commander flies, it's evasive. Let's kill some people with Nettle Cyst. 3 mana for an artifact equipment. It's got living weapons, so it comes in with a 0/0 germ. And a quick creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact or enchantment you control. Quick for 2. So not only is this a massive threat by itself, it's just one of those construct tokens we were just talking about, but this is going to be incredible on our commander. We strap our commander up with this, we just slam in for tons and tons of damage. Then there's All That Glitters, another great way of making our commander massive. 2 mana for an aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. It's almost like they're the same card, except one's an aura and one's an artifact. He. Really, really powerful. Will end up winning you games. Then, just another great equipment that you might want to put into the deck. Sword of Hearth and Home. 3 mana for an equipment. A quick creature has +2/+2. Has protection from green and white. So, you know, a lot of people beast within. Green's just a very popular colour. And white, swords to plowshares, you know, things like that. This gives you protection from all of that. Whenever a quick creature deals combat damage to a player, exile up to 1 target creature you own. Then search your library for a basic land. Put both of them, those cards onto the battlefield under your control. Then shuffle. Equip for 2. So, you know, if you've got any good enter the battlefield effects, we can re-trigger them, and then, you know, we're going to be tutoring for land. So white does struggle with ramp and things like that, so this card is a great way of doing it. And then finally we've got Strata Scythe. 3 mana for an equipment. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a land card, exile it, and shuffle your library. Quick creature gets +1/+1 for each land on the battlefield with the same name as the exile card. So we're going to be mono white, thanks to Icingdeath being mono white. So we're going to have a lot of planes. We tutor out of planes. This is probably going to be giving like +7/+7 +8/8, and that doesn't even take into account, you know, our opponent's lands, because this counts every land on the battlefield, not just our own. So a really nice aggressive equipment. Which brings me on to number 1, and at number 1 we've got Mycosynth Lattice. Mycosynth Lattice, so everything we've talked about wants a lot of artifacts on the field. So why don't we make everything into an artifact? 6 mana for an artifact. All permanents are artifacts in addition to the other types. All cards that aren't on the battlefield as spells and permanents are colorless. Players may spend mana as though mana of any color. So the real reason we're playing this is the mana fixing. You know, in mono white, it's important to have a lot of fixing. But this is incredible because all of these things that, you know, buff thanks to the amount of artifacts you've got will become ridiculously large. They'll be absolutely astonishingly big. And then, if everything's an artifact, well, Karn Silver Golem, one of my first commanders because I'm a miserable person, is a 5 mana 4/4 golem. And when it blocks, becomes blocks, it gets -4/+4 until end of turn. So a nice 0/8. Then the real reason you want to play it, pay 1. Target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness, each equal to its converted mana cost until end of turn. Okay, so why do we want to play this? Well, with that ability, you know, all of our opponent's lands are now artifacts. So we can make it into a non-creature artifact with CMC 0/0. So it will become a 0/0 and just die instantaneously. So for 1 white, we can just, you know, pick away at our opponent's lands, just sort of strip mine them into oblivion. Another version of this, you know, you can use Liquid Metal Talk in conjunction with Karn. 2 mana for an artifact, tap for a course. Tap, target non-mana permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types until end of turn. So we can use this with Karn just to pick off, you know, individual lands and stuff like that. Also really cool in response to a board wipe with Karn. You know, you can turn everything, just anyone's mana rocks into creatures and then they die to the board wipe. Then we've got Khan, the Great Creator. Khanning around here. 4 mana for a 5 mana loyalty Planeswalker. God, I'm falling to pieces. It's got 5 loyalty on it. That's all you need to know. Anyway, activated abilities of artifacts your opponent's control can't be activated. So that includes all of their lands. If all of their lands are, artifacts, they then can't activate them and make mana. And +1 until your next turn, up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness each equal to its converted mana cost. So this can be used with Liquid Metal Talk to, make something not work for a turn. Then -2, you may choose an artifact card you own from the game. It doesn't matter, you're not allowed to do it in EDH. But to be fair, if you're playing this card and, your friends are all right with it, just bring in whatever you want from outside the game. Who really cares? Then, why don't you just find whatever artifact you want in Enlightened Tutor? 1 white for an instant, search your library for an artifact or enchantment card, reveal a card, shuffle your library, put that card on top. So do this in your upkeep before you've drawn, then you draw it their turn. Really, really nice. Then Liquid Metal Coating, exactly the same as the Talk. Tap to make a permanent an artifact. And then if you really want to go after lands, Mere Landshaper is the guy for you. 3 mana for a Mere. Tap. Target land becomes an artifact in addition to its other types till end of turn. So with Khan, you can just ping it off. Really, really fun for absolutely nobody, really. But you can do it, so why not? I hope you've enjoyed this. Icingdeath, cool commander, quite cool. Really, really sort of interesting card. And, you can build it, well, not too many ways, but it can be quite fun. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. Bye.